Okay, so what we're going to do this afternoon is just talk about reviews. Reviews are a key part of the projects that we're working on, and I'm going to go through the different types of reviews that we can use in our organisations. So we're going to be looking at informal reviews, walkthroughs, technical or peer reviews, management review, audit, and inspections. These are all valid reviews that we can do in the organisation. And being a tutorial, you get the opportunity to practice some of these as well. So we'll have a go at doing some of these review types. I'm waiting for some of the materials to be printed for you to do that, so there'll be some stuff coming out to you shortly, and we'll have a go at doing those. I'm also happy to take any questions. You've got the microphones there. If you've got any questions, please just put your hand up and ask me. I'm absolutely fine on questions. There's only two areas I'm not very good at. Okay? One is personal problems, and the other one is medical problems. So any other questions, that's fine, but not personal medical. So, the most common types of reviews we have: informal walkthrough, peer, inspection, management, and audit. Can I just have, I want to just get a bit of a scale of what people are doing here. Can I just have a show of hands, those who do what they believe are informal reviews? How many people do that? Okay. Walkthroughs. How many people do that? Okay. Technical peer reviews. Oh, a few different hands. Inspections. Anyone do inspections? Really, really formal inspections? Okay. Management reviews. Yeah? Audits. Okay. So, who doesn't do any reviews at all? Okay. Oh, there's one hand going up. Sorry, I won't point you out, sorry. Okay. Okay. So, there are lots of different reviews we can use, and what we need to do is select and use the appropriate review for the type of artifact that we're looking at, the type of business we're at, and what we're trying to achieve as objectives from that type of review as well. So, definition of review. I love definitions. An evaluation of a product or project status to ascertain discrepancies from planned results and to recommend improvements. Examples include management review, informal, peer technical review, inspections and walkthroughs. So that's what we're talking about. I always like definitions. It just helps us clarify exactly what we're talking about. So we're talking about evaluation of a product or a project status, so it can either be a document or a status, to look at discrepancies from what we planned and recommend improvements to it. So when we're looking at benefits and problems of reviews, what do you think would be some benefits of reviews? Anyone like to shout any benefits? Why do we do them? Is it just an opportunity to get together and have a chat? Is that why we do reviews? Sorry? Minimizing mistakes, absolutely. So we're trying to make sure that the document we're looking at is correct and there's few defects in there, mistakes. Brilliant. Anything else? Why else are we doing it? Meet friends? Talk about the TV? Improving the process, you say? Sorry, who was that? Yeah. Improving the process, absolutely. I mean, one of the things about reviews is that we're doing these quite early on in the life cycle of the project. And we want to make sure we can capture these problems as soon as possible. As the lady said down there, it's finding the defects, wanting to improve the way the documents can be written at a later stage. So it's probably involving all people. It's an education for people. We're explaining what the application of the product's meant to be doing. What could be some problems with reviews? What could we have as issues? Do they always work? Sorry?
Really work, but it will take time.
Sorry, I missed that.
Take time.
They take time. They do take time. People think it's a waste of time. Just get on with it. What else could be a problem?
Lots of corrections. Have to do lots of corrections.
Lots of corrections. Yeah, maybe a lot of rework involved in it. Maybe we have the wrong people involved in reviews. People don't really know what they're looking at. They've not been trained on how to do reviews. They don't read it properly. Sometimes problems with reviews is when people read documents, they look at the style of the document rather than the substance. So in other words, they talk about there's a full stop missing here, or it's the wrong font size, or it's the wrong colour paper or something, instead of saying there's something materially wrong with the document. So looking at the wrong things. We can also use it too much to blame individuals. It can be a witch hunt, saying, look, that author, what do you think you're doing writing that particular document? Pretty rubbish. So it becomes very critical of an individual. It's sometimes not planned, sometimes it can become a problem-solving exercise. Instead of trying to find things that are wrong with the document, they try to come up with a solution to it, instead of coming up with the issues that we've got. So, there's a number of problems with reviews. They don't always work, but what we need to do is tackle it and try and make these better and improve in the organisation. Reviews are cost-effective. ISTQB quote, when done properly, reviews are the single biggest and most cost-effective contributor to overall delivered quality. There's a lot of benefit we can get out of reviews. And there's a few statistics. If you have to actually justify why you've got to do reviews in the organisation, if you have to put a business case together, there are case studies of examples where these are a benefit to you. So, there's Friedman and Weinberg, in their book, Handbook of Walkthroughs, Inspections and Technical Reviews, they talk about a 10-time reduction in faults reaching tests, and testing costs being reduced by 50 to 80%. Now that's not just a claim, that's fact. That's based on evidence. Jordan, he talks about reducing faults by a factor of 10 by doing reviews. And Tom Gill and Dorothy Graham, I mentioned earlier, in their book on software inspection, they talk about a 25% reduction in schedules, taking 80 to 95% of faults in each stage, and 28 times reduction in maintenance costs. These are big numbers. Big numbers. And this is really powerful to explain the message as well, because when we're down here in requirements, down here, to fix a defect is really talking about to a factor of 1 unit. So you find a problem in the requirements document, you can quickly change it, just type out what it should be. But if that same problem manifests itself out throughout the project, until eventually it gets out of the field, it can be very expensive. I mean, I set up there 500 times the cost. I've seen them up to 1,000, maybe 4,000 times the cost of finding them down here in requirements. Now I can go with that. When I was at the bank, when we were deploying software to our customers, if we could find things at requirements, it was fairly easy and cheap to fix. Let's just get the type right. But if a customer found that problem, the cost of fixing those problems and then redeploying it out to the client was enormous. And it's not just the cost of redoing the code and sending it out. It's also the disruption to the customer, and also them potentially calling back to your support desk and saying, why have I had another release of software come through? So it's an impact both to your organisation and your customer, your client. So that's a well-known approach in draft. Now, this information, this came from one of my old colleagues, Lloyd Roden. And this is actually based on personal experience. Because what I think is really important to you is, do you know how much it costs for a defect to be fixed once it's gone live? Now, what you need to think about is, if you can decide what is like an average defect that a customer would find, what does it cost your organisation to fix it? When I used to teach as a practitioner course, we used to do a little exercise where people used to just sit down and start thinking about who was involved when a customer found a problem, and and how long did people spend to get it fixed until the customer got the solution. So if you work out, and you could do this back in your office as well, if you work out if a customer finds a problem in your application, what do? They call some sort of support desk. Okay, so let's say it takes 10 minutes for that person to record the defect. That then gets sent through maybe to development for them to assess it. Then somebody has to fix it. Somebody has to retest it. Maybe a bit of regression testing at that point. Maybe it then goes to the test team to do some regression testing. Then it gets shipped out to the customer. Now, there's a cost for all those people involved. And what you need to identify is what we call the occupational cost. How much does it cost for the tester, the developer, or that support analyst to be in that job? Now, it's not just your salary, it's all the cost to be there. And if you talk to your human resources, they may well be able to come up with an occupation cost. And the cost is the cost of your salary, any insurance, the cost of the desk, the heat, the light, the chair, your laptop, whatever it is. There is a cost for you to be physically at your desk. And what you need to do is work out how much that costs for your 20 minutes, for your half an hour in that job. And by the time you add all those individual amounts up, and you multiply that out by how many defects you find alive, that could be big numbers. And sometimes when we've done that exercise, it's quite surprising to people exactly what that figure could be. Now, if you could actually then talk to management and say, by finding defects alive, this is how many reviews it's going to cost us. Let's invest that money up front in reviews. You're not only going to save time and money, you're going to save hassle with your customers. There's not going to be a cost associated with them. And this is a really, really powerful thing, and I really urge you when you get back, have a go at doing this. Now, Lloyd had this example from a company he worked at. And he said 350 incidents or defects were raised by the independent test unit in testing. Now, on average, the cost of fixing a defect or finding a fault during reviews was about £40. And I've converted it as best I can. So about 240 ringgit. So that probably means more to you than me. If it's found in the testing unit, it's £450. If it's found in live, it's £1,200. And that doesn't include any of the intangibles. So if we say 350 incidents raised during independent testing unit, the ITU saved the company, so it's 350 multiplied by the 1,200 less the 450, which is £262,500 or 1.6 million ringgit. But they could have saved the company if they'd done the reviews, nearly 2,500 ringgit. And you've got the graph representing that time. So, yes, it's a good thing to do in testing, but heck, let's get this down in reviews. Let's find those problems as soon as we can, when it's cheap to do so, and it's easy to fix it. Has anyone actually worked out the cost of sorting out live defects in your organisation? Anyone what that costs? No? I say, have a go at doing this when you get back. And I think you can surprise yourself how many zeros at the end of that figure, how big that number is. So, the objectives of reviews. So, this is not a nice UKB course, as I say, but it is sensible to use the syllabus to talk through the different types of reviews that are available. Audits and management reviews are looking specifically at the software process. So we've got the audit group doing, and the meetings and management reviews are the meetings with your managers. The other ones are looking at your work products, or your test bases, or your betas, or testing type documents, those artifacts. Some of the review types also have secondary objectives. So walkthrough is not only finding defects, but that's trying to get some common understanding, trying to educate people what this application is meant to be all about. Peer and technical reviews are looking at making technical decisions and to gain a consensus and agreement between different people. Inspections is not only finding the defects, but also looking at improving the processes as well. So whilst there is a direct thing of finding the defects and finding the problems with our documentation, we want to also improve the way we work and generate learning. Now, there are a number of resources we've got to help us with reviews. If you look at the IEEE 1028, Standard for Software Reviews and Audits, it's all in there. It tells you all about the reviews and what you should be looking for. So there is a standard which talks to you about it. There's peer reviews, the Software Practical Guide. There's a book from Tom and Dorothy about software inspections. And it's quite a thick book, but it's based on the microphage inspections that were introduced when he was in IBM. And it's not a book to read, it's more a book to use when you're trying to do inspections. There's also software inspections, industry best practice, and there's also the handbook of walkthroughs, inspections and technical reviews. So there's a lot of stuff out there which will give you the information that you need moving forward. Now, when we're looking at the outcome of reviews, we're reviewing our test bases, our documents, and there are three options we have when we come out of reviews. The first thing is we've got lots of issues, so we've got the red light. It says we can't move ahead until we resolve all these problems. We've got issues, let's stop, get these right before we move on. The other one is that we come up with a number of issues which we have to resolve, but it doesn't stop us actually proceeding. We need to sort them out, certainly, but we can carry on. And what we'd love to have is a situation where we've got green light saying, no problem, just keep going. Now those are the three types of outcomes that we could potentially have. The most typical one, I guess, is the amber one. What we don't want is something that's just chaos. Don't know where you're going. The roles we've got in reviews, they fall into main headings, basically. So the people involved, we need to have a leader or moderator,